Hello, everybody, and welcome to BUPeriod. Your body is your gem. Dinner podcast, but in ice cream sandwiches. Well, I'm having fat-free frozen yogurt, but Velvet here is having an ice cream sandwich. We're a little bit non-traditional tonight. We're not at Live on Air BK, but we are at the beautiful BK, Brooklyn Brownstone. And tonight's episode is Young Blood, one teenage girl's journey to womanhood through her Vajayjay stories. Velvet, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Velvet Washington, and I'm just here to tell you guys about my story.
And let them know what school, what grade you're in.
Well, I'm going into 10 at the moment, yes.
So, what I wanted to do was just start off really quickly, and you know what BUPeriod is about. It's about empowering women and girls and all who menstruate around the world through their menstrual cycles. Because you know it's still very taboo. It's still a high stigma attached to it. So I want one girl, even if it's just one girl, to be able to relate to you, and you be able to advise or share some insight. Okay? So when I mention the word vagina, what's the first thing that comes up to your mind?
A vagina?
Yeah, what's the first image?
A vagina. My vagina.
Okay, and if you had to put a color to it, what's the color?
Black.
Okay, if you had to put a smell to it, what's the smell?
Flowers.
Oh, okay. And if you had to put like a building, an iconic building, what would that iconic building be?
Like iconic building, like Twin Towers?
Yeah.
I guess a Twin Tower?
Okay. And last but not least, if you had to pick a jewel that best described it, what would it be?
A ruby.
A ruby. I like that. A ruby. Okay, so tonight, how do you feel about discussing a little bit about your ruby?
Fine.
So first, let's talk about rubies, jewels. If someone gave you a ruby, what would you do with it?
I would cherish it.
And how would you cherish it?
You know, put it somewhere nice and make sure it's clean all the time.
Would you let just anybody touch or borrow or use your ruby?
No. I would be very,
Protective? Why?
Because it's very special to me, and it's my ruby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to play a little game. Because I know when I was growing up, it was really hard to even, I'm going to keep it 100. The first time I ever heard the word Pussy outside of Trump was Mom Dukes. Okay? I asked her, I was like, Mom, what does this word mean? She was like, you mean pussy? I was like, yeah, yes. And she was like, it's a name that people use for your vagina and your private parts, but it's derogatory. You don't need to use it. But that's all I kept hearing. Literally, I heard people call other people it. I heard in rap songs referring to they wanted it, to buy it, to smash it, to hurt it, to love it. So all these images in my mind about what a private part was, it just wasn't clear. So what I want to do is play a little game, okay? You know the hand games from when we were kids, right? Right? Let's get the beat. So this game is going to be Name That Vajayjay. So every name that you could have possibly heard that describes your ruby, we're going to play. And you got to do it on beat. And the first one to skip the beat loses. Okay? So I don't know how many I can remember, but we're going to start. Pocketbook.
Cuckoo.
Coochie.
Coop.
So you really didn't hear different types of names?
Now I used to just call it like my coochie, cuckoo, just that.
Okay.
And then I started calling it vagina. And now I just call it vagina.
Well, what do other people call it around your school? Like guys, 'cause I know we're going to talk about that shortly.
Well, you just call it Pussy.
Okay, so like times have really changed because it was like 18 different names when I was a kid, you know. Because it was, I guess now it's so out in the open. Dang.
Yeah.
So like guys are just like, hey, let me just whatever to your.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was fast. I knew we were gonna be here for at least 5 minutes playing the hand games.
No.
All right. So all right. So your first education. When I was in school, unfortunately, after learning how to make peanut butter cookies and home ed, the teacher was like, ladies, use a condom if you're going to have sex. Why? Because you can get cervical cancer. And then we went right back to making peanut butter cookies. So how is your sex education? You're 16, right?
Yeah.
So in high school, different from what I just shared with you. 'Cause mine was a hot mess.
Yeah. In our health class, we went over a lot over birth control, condoms, safe sex.
Did at any point they show you what a full vulva, vagina, uterus?
Yeah, we had to label everything.
So you actually labeled the parts and you know?
Yeah, you know. I'm out of school now. I'm on summer break, so you know. But yeah, we did it. We did it.
Wow. You know, my very first picture of one was I snuck into my uncle's bedroom and he had Playboy magazine. And that was my very first time seeing what a real Vajayjay looked like.
Oh no, I see.
And they actually showed it to me. So you know the difference between, you know what a vulva is?
Yeah, I heard the word before. I forgot it.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
So that's the outside and it has several parts.
Yeah.
And then you know what the vagina is?
Yeah.
What is it?
The vagina, like
The real, the tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay. So the vulva is all the different lips that, you know, that the clitoris, your major, your minor, and everyone looks different. Did you know that all of our Vajayjays have their own separate fingerprint?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
That every vagina
Every single last one. We all have different looks. We all have different shades, different sizes, different faces, different. Some are like this. Some are like this. Some like this. Some like this. You just never know. But do you think it's anything to be ashamed of?
No,
Why?
because everybody has a vagina. Well, every female has a vagina.
All right. So now let's talk about the P word. Period. You know, P. I like to call it P Diddy. P Diddy. If you watch him, I'm a first generation fan. I used to call you Puff. This has got nothing to do with you. Okay. What was that experience like? When did you know when you first got it?
I was in Ohio and I was on the toilet and I wiped myself. I was like 12, and then I was scared, but my mom always told me what a period was, but I didn't expect to get it anytime soon. So yeah, I got my period, and then I looked in the mirror at my vagina to see if it was really blood. But then I thought maybe I might have bust my cherry. But then I called my mom.
Okay, so two things. Cherry, you should have used that earlier during the hand game. It would have lasted longer. And number two, your mom.
Yeah.
I know your mom. Very influential. She's extremely healthy, very knowledgeable when it comes to her body. So I know that. Just share with us some of those conversations that you had with your mother.
Over period?
Oh, yeah, in your body.
Oh, she just told me what age she got it, and you know, it's natural. And every girl gets it, and I'm gonna get it one day from when I got it.
Did you share with her?
Yeah, I called her because she wasn't home at the time, so I called her. And she was like, "Yeah, you got your period." So I was like, "Okay, good."
So were you scared?
I was scared, but I thought I'd like accidentally bust my cherry somehow, like because I was outside playing that day, so I was scared. But then I called her, and then she just said, "Yeah, just get a pad." So I got a pad, and then ever since then I had my period.
Did you know that at that point you were a fertile young lady?
Yeah, I didn't really think of it like that at the time, but yeah, I guess I was.
Well, I mean, I ask you that because some young girls, they, similar to you, they think they're dying. Some girls, especially, I mean, here in this country, but especially externally on an international level, some of the more rural parts of third world countries, they don't say anything. So they'll go a very long time without sharing what's going on with them because they think they've done something wrong. They think that they're sick. They think they're actually dying. And when they finally do break down and they tell their parents, unfortunately, it's so taboo. Sometimes they're exiled from the home for a week. This happens in rural India, in some parts of Africa, because they're seen as unclean. What do you think about that?
I think that's obviously not true. You know, you got your period.
Right. So education for teenagers is very important.
Yeah, it is. You have to understand that it's not an unnormal thing.
And if you were say you took a trip out to India, and you happen to run into one of the little girls, or any little girl who's shy and hasn't shared with their parents yet exactly what's been going on, what would your advice be?
Tell them from your parents. Or go to the doctor. The doctor teaches you everything. Internet teaches you everything about your period.
So you would think they should self-educate themselves first.
That's what I do.
So, as far as your management of not just your period, but your overall Vajayjay, your overall cherry, your overall ruby, what's that like on a day-to-day basis?
Good. You want me to explain what I do?
Do you think there's some girls out there who could use some insight?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So share.
Every day I wash it, twice a day. Some little tricks I do. Sometimes I've hit deodorant, like between my legs down there so it can stay fresh. Or wipe it. When I use the bathroom, I use like little wipies to wipe it all the way. Just basically, I always wear panty liners, and peroxide. After my period, sometimes you spray peroxide down there and get all the blood.
Wow.
My mom taught me that.
BUPeriod does not endorse, but if it works for you, that's on your own. That's on your own. But wait, tell me more.
Yeah, peroxide, it kills the germs.
Well, I know I use peroxide to rinse my mouth and for cuts, but I didn't know you could freshen up.
Yeah, you squirt it down there and you wipe, and then you don't bleed as much.
Well, peroxide burns blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't sting or anything, so people are scared to always put peroxide.
And that's also another way to clean your sheets. Did you ever bleed through your sheets?
Yeah, I bleed on my panties or whatever, and I just wash it out with peroxide.
And it comes right out.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just throw your sheets away. I learned that at a young age too with my mom. She was just like, just put some peroxide on it, and it's literally like magic. Like
it just comes right up.
It literally
and then
burns.
I wash it.
Okay.
I have my period panties.
All right. So we discussed your discovery of your Vajayjay, your cherry, your ruby. We discussed how you manage on a day-to-day, some insight that you would give to other young girls.
Also, use only, I forgot the word, but only vagina soap, because you don't want to burn down.
Something that with good pH balance.
pH balance, yeah.
Absolutely.
Only pH balance soap.
Natural.
You don't burn your vagina.
Organic, natural.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. You have really good hygiene, menstrual health hygiene for someone your age.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we kind of discussed everything about your discovery and your journey, but there's also other ways that young girls, especially your age, have to take care of that ruby. Remember the first thing I asked you was, do you let just anyone hold it or borrow it? So now when it comes to certain genders or certain little people with icky little hands who climb trees and rocks, and they may want to play with it or they may want to toy with it, or to be quite frank, they just want to have sex with it. Bottom line, that's the next stage of discovery when it comes to your cherry. So, Miss Velvet Washington, have you had that experience yet?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Means, I have had an experience like that.
Okay. And what was the first thing that went through your mind?
This is actually happening.
And? So did you think about down there at all, or was it like a second thought and after fact?
No, it happened very fast.
Okay. So he was a 2-minute brother.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, no, all jokes aside, it didn't happen fast, but it was a different type of experience, I guess.
And how did you feel about yourself afterwards?
It was weird down near my vagina area.
Why?
Because, I guess, you know.
Why? Did it feel differently?
Yeah. No, it felt differently. Like, it was just different.
Did it hurt? Was there a different smell?
No, it didn't hurt, but yeah, it was like a different smell to it. It was just not the old vagina I had.
If you could do it all over again, would you?
The experience with
Yes.
him? No. Because, I just don't, it was a learning experience. So, I don't want to regret it or anything. Just, I won't do it again without really knowing everything I need to know.
About him and yourself and your body?
Yeah, about my body and just me in general.
And what you like, right?
Yeah.
So, now that things have changed a little bit down there, what's kind of new? Do you still feel like baby velvet, or?
Oh yeah, it feels the same way, especially now that I went to OBGYN, got everything.
So you went to an OBGYN. Is this the first time you've gone?
Yeah.
And this was after the experience?
Yeah. So, yeah, it was after the experience.
Were you scared?
Yeah.
What were you scared of?
That little spectrum going in my vagina.
Oh yeah, I'm still scared. I'm grown.
It didn't hurt though.
It didn't hurt?
No, that's it.
Was she nice? Or he?
Yeah, she was nice.
So everybody or young girls out there who they experience it for the first time, or even if they don't, do you think that they should go get their cherries, Vajayjays, and boobies checked by a professional and at least talk to them about what's going on with their bodies?
Yes, definitely. You feel a lot more better about your vagina once you know what's going on down there.
Okay. So I just want to, first of all, thank you for being so bold, and thank you for being so honest, because that's a hard thing. That's a really hard thing. I'm like, right now, I know Dad's watching, right? I think. And I'm still nervous, like, talking about it in front of him, because I never really had those conversations with him, or nor my mother. I'm of the older Gen X generation, and,
But it's good to have an open relationship with your mom. And like just family in general, so you're not scared to talk about what's going on down there or ask for help, because you do need it at a young age. You need guidance on the right road. So I'm thankful to have people that I could talk to about it, and that just gives me good advice. And now my vagina's back to regular.
Was it irregular before?
It was irregular.
Why was it irregular?
Because I had a vaginal infection.
Like the BV, the bacterial
infection.
Do you think that came from your experience?
Yeah, I think it might have came from that. Yeah, just not being used to what happened, and like not knowing exactly how to take care of it.
So that was like that's huge for the first time, and then for that to happen. So you gotta have some sort of insight or advice for young girls. So what was your first indication that something was wrong?
When I was discharged.
Okay.
A lot more than usual. Basically, best way to avoid these problems is abstinence, not having sex.
Okay.
But if you do find yourself in a situation where if you're in that situation, have a condom.
Yes.
And people think birth control can stop STDs. That's not always the case. Always wear a condom. It's not the case at all, because
right, exactly.
You can't stop STDs. But yeah, always have a condom, but just the best way to just avoid any of these issues is not to have sex.
All right. You are so aware, and you are just so ahead of the game. I'm so proud of you. I really am, and I love the open relationship that you have with your mother. And I think that's amazing for young girls out there to know that if they don't have an open relationship with their mom, because I did, that they at least share with their OBGYN or someone who they can trust, so that if something wrong is happening, they can get it fixed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on BUPeriod. Your body is your gem. Now I know that your body is definitely your gem, and why your body is your gem, and that you're going to continue to treat it as a gem. And that for all the young girls out there listening tonight, your body is your gem as well. So, thank you for tuning in. We love you all. Menstruation matters. And make sure you follow us at BUPeriod.com, at BUPeriod Instagram, and www.BUPeriod.com for our website. Okay? Our goal is to empower girls, women, and all who menstruate through their periods. Period. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode, and we're going to finish eating our dessert because we kind of skipped dinner, right? Bye.
Bye.